It is a podcast. I gotta just hold on. Intro music in 3, 2, 1. Okay, I was just printing off something. A 3D printing off a cookie cutter for the collab for Corey. Yeah. There was music playing, and then Corey was blasting TikToks while the cat was meowing. The amount, and there's a fan running. The amount of auditory pollution absolutely shook me.
It's apparent you don't have children.
Me.
You were
not even in this room. You were not. You were a million miles away. That's present.
How you have to do. You can tune things out as a parent.
I could feel the cortisol. I could feel it physically increasing. Just like there was so much noise.
As a parent, you learn this art of canceling out noise. My husband does it amazingly. He cancels me out all the time.
That was a lot. This is a lot.
It's a lot.
I'm not cut out for it.
You're not. You are not.
Nope. Can't wait till you leave. Anyways, this is a podcast.
This is the podcast.
See, you're creating noise at all times.
This is the podcast.
Tell folks what they can expect.
What's crazy is when I'm by myself, I am silent.
Good. That's normal.
I'm silent.
What just I witnessed here was abnormal.
Listen, you had your weird music playing.
I
was typing on your keyboard, like
trying to respond to a client.
People, when you have a keyboard and it's like can be quiet. There's
also,
a loud one.
Clients who send just like, okay, you want one thing.
Customer messaging? Do I need to delete you?
Yeah, try to shut me up. Try to delete my friend. Tell people what can they find on the podcast.
You can find customer bashing apparently. No, this is marketing nuggets and know-hows gifted to you once a week, mostly on Tuesdays. A little late today because I had a dental appointment.
Do you have a cavity?
No cavity. Thank goodness, because she filled my last cavity, which I felt like she lied about. How could I test her, though?
Corey, they're not. That's why I chose them. I said
I have some receding gums on my lower teeth.
On your lower teeth? Let me see.
It's very low.
Right. You brushing too hard?
I brush a lot.
But yeah, it's the brushing too hard. But they said the Sonicare.
That's what
I use. You guys, if you want to know what my Twinterest is, 4 or 5 years ago, Corey held me to the ground and said, get a Sonicare or else. And I was like, you know what? Okay, fine. It changed. Changed my
You feel
oral
like
hygiene.
You're cleaning your teeth in the morning?
No. I want you guys to go out right now. Don't buy another cookie cutter. I want you to go buy a Sonicare. Not the cheapy one. Not the Oral-B. No. Trash. I want you to get the Philips Sonicare. Okay? I even have the cheapest one of that. And I want you to go brush your teeth. And I want you to come back and say, oh my goodness.
First off, it has a timer built in. You're going to brush for 2 minutes.
I want to say, you'll be frothing at the mouth. The drool will just be...
You will feel this sense of... You've never experienced squeaky clean?
No, not until you get a Sonicare. And I'm a believer. It is.
Right across the top.
When you run the little tongue across them perlowats, you'll be like, how have I not?
How have
I been brushing my teeth? And then also manually brushing with a toothbrush.
My husband does a manual brush.
It's insane.
I just was like, I will buy you a Sonicare. Nope. Man's stuck in his ways with his bad dental hygiene.
I gotta say, he doesn't eat chicken. That's his only saving
grace. It does not.
But
it is great.
I'll say.
I love it. Mm-hmm. 2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes at night, 2 minutes if I eat something like salsa in the middle of the day. Clean
2
as
minutes?
a whistle.
Because I feel like it's going longer than 2 minutes.
No, it's 2
minutes.
If you
have it on
30,
clean or white.
Listen, 30 seconds per quadrant.
Yeah, but do you know what white is? They have two settings on the basic Sony. And it's the white. The clean is 4 quadrants. But white is 4 quadrants plus 2 to do the front two first.
I don't know if mine has a...
You got to double click on twice. Quickly.
You know, I have a different one than you because I gifted my old one to Arch.
Gross.
That sounds gross, but I changed the head.
That's disgusting. You know when you go on a beach trip with your twin and you look at a toothbrush? I'm sitting there with the pointy end of a dental floss cleaning out in between the buttons. You're not.
I will throw that thing in hydrogen peroxide every month.
Well, that's a good idea. Okay, back to the podcast. We are boycotting Olive Garden. Olive Garden is no more. Just kidding. We absolutely love Olive Garden. In fact, there was a whole tree in my teeth from the Olive Garden. Thanks for letting me know.
You gotta use that Sonic.
I was smiling at people. Like, oh.
That's a problem, is if no one tells you there's something in your teeth, and then you go to the bathroom and you realize you had like a tree trunk in there.
A protocol. once you don't say it the first time, you can't say it again. You can't say, hey, I'm sorry, I've been talking for 30 minutes.
Listen, of the family, I'm the one who tells y'all you got stuff in your teeth.
I need you to stop bobbing your head so much.
Of the family. I'm the one who tells you guys. And then I'll go into the bathroom and see a big old chunk of steak-a-roonski right between the middle, too.
Well, how do you think when I had a garden growing between my teeth?
I didn't see it.
The problem is, and if you want to know how to make fun of a miracle sister, it's to tell them they have chiclet teeth. And we do. We have massive surface area.
We do. That's what my son's problem is. He's got giant teeth and a tiny
little
mouth.
jaw. Here's the thing. With these giant honkers of teeth that we got, there's just a myriad of places for Olive Garden salad to hide.
And with this receding gum line of mine.
I keep a floss army in my purse.
Whenever I'm in doubt.
Here's the thing. People are like, there's a hair in my food. You have a little crap in your teeth? Everything.
Listen, I will use flosser. A credit card. That thing's never been cleaned.
Business card for that person I was never going to call you. When you are desperate, my dear friend.
No.
You don't care. Desperate. Okay, back to the podcast.
Okay, wow. We've taken 20
Olive Garden. So we have a couple points. Corey and I were talking about Olive Garden because specifically we went to Olive Garden. Why did we? On Thursday. Corey had a cookie drop off with, ironically, one of the waitresses there.
That's called business.
Every place is a sales place. But while we were sitting there, we were talking with the waitress, who's extremely nice, about an interesting experience she'd had the other day. So if you are an Olive Garden pro, like we are, pro-enamel, you'll know that Olive Garden has gone to this thing called the Ziosk, which is this little entertain your kid computer. You can call your waiter back, but you can also pay the bill.
You can order desserts. You can order drinks. You cannot order an entree. You can say you're having an issue.
And then the kid can play games
for $2.
Yeah. So the Ziosk thing is interesting. And at the end, when you pay your check, which you can split, you can do tip, you can pay by entree.
It's nice.
It's nice. But at the end, it asks you to leave a survey.
You do.
Right. So the waitress is like, we were asking something about the Ziosk.
She was like, I'd never asked, do you guys leave the questionnaire for me filled out? And I said, only every single time.
She's like, nobody knows this, but we actually print them all out and they get hung on the back. And we said, only the good ones or the good and bad ones? She's like, no, all of them. They're all hung back there as like this wall of pride and shame. So we're like, well, have you ever had a bad one? She's like, so interesting. Last week, I say, hey, guys, and this lady really knows how to work a table.
She's great. She worked us, man.
Phenomenal
We're
salesperson.
eating out of the palm of her hand.
In fact, the first time she was our waitress, this is how often we go to Olive Garden, I said, hey, we've had every waiter and waitress here, but we've never had you, but I've heard you work these tables. And now, since she's claimed us as her children, and we only sit in her section.
Her twins is what she calls us.
Right. So if you didn't think you have a problem, we do.
We do.
Anyway, she tells the table, hey guys, and whenever you're ready, feel free to pay at the Ziosk. If you need anything, let me know. And the lady says, I didn't pay to do my own check charging.
Yeah. She said she wants to go back to the way things used to be, where the waitress takes your card and then swipes it.
Embarrassingly, though, her friend is absolutely fine paying the Ziosk. So the waitress splits the check, takes the check back, half of it, charges the card, and gives the lady the receipt. However, the lady grabs the Ziosk from her friend who paid, and in the 5-question reviews gives this waitress a bad review. Yeah, so we're like, wow, that's wild. But we're in a kind of, if you've been to an Olive Garden, you'll know that it has different rooms. So we're in a room, and behind us is another table of two gentlemen.
Two gentlemen.
Who I swear weren't talking at all, so could have heard this entire story of customer bashing.
We're talking at the sound of a rocket ship.
Yeah. So we hear the guy, and he says again to this waitress who is able to ninja work tables, which I've never been a waitress before. I would have loved to, but this lady cannot lose. She's able to take any customer complaint and turn it into a win. Really is.
But we already knew that they were in for something because when they got their salad, the amount of cheese each one wanted was not enough. Like they wanted such a different amount of cheese that they needed a different salad each.
Interesting question. If you ever go to an Olive Garden, ask your waitress, staff, what's the most cheese they've ever had to put on the salad? I've gotten the answer, 2 blocks.
Yeah, 2 blocks of cheese.
And I said, did they give you a heads up that they wanted 2 blocks? No, they just never said stop.
Yeah, I want to say when I say, can I have some cheese? They're like looking at me constantly. Like if you had
every
just
time your hand goes
blocks,
like 1, 2,
I'm like fine, that's a
3.
I like when they come to the table and they're already they're already doing it and cheese and they're like, would you like some cheese? And you're like, yeah. So they dump it out.
Yeah. And then you have less of the awkward.
The cheese is good on the salad.
Corey
Just
and
gonna
I
say.
have been sleeping on the cheese on the salad. So
Yeah.
now we're pro cheese on salad.
Because we were trying to like get them like so they didn't have to loiter
Right.
and do the weird song and dance with the cheese.
Back to this experience on Thursday, we hear the gentleman say, like, hey, I have an issue with my order. It was like a chicken.
He got an eggplant parm.
Eggplant parm. He said the chicken is inedible. I can't even cut it. Typically, I wouldn't even need to cut it. It just falls apart. She was like, okay, I'd be happy to remove that from the check, or we can remake the meal for you. I'm so sorry about your experience.
This is what he says. I don't like wasting food,
So,
but I'm still hungry.
So what is she to do? So she says, well, the two options, I can absolutely refund this, but we can remake it for you and it will be free of charge.
So this, I said, I want to order a different meal. And she said, no, that's not the option.
I could tell she got a little bit of
She
like,
did.
fight me
She
out
did.
back.
She
Fight me
did.
out back.
So
What did he end up doing?
He ends up saying, you can remake the chicken.
Right. After he didn't want to waste food. Suddenly
Yeah.
wasting of food is on there. And did the guy, was the chicken bad? Who knows? How it was handled was absolutely outrageous from that guy. It was so awkward because he wanted to force her into giving him an option
That was
that
not
wasn't
on the table.
The cheese was on the table, but that option was not. So Corey on the drive back, since I don't have a car still, we went to assess the issues with Olive Garden that creates kind of these customers.
Amazing customer.
Amazing. It's an amazing place. I think if Olive Garden
Is it an
closes, it
amazing
is
place?
an amazing
I would be
place.
sad if the garden closed.
If the OG closed up shop, what would we do?
I have no clue. You
Man.
couldn't. I would say, what is that noodle place that you go
Noodles
to?
and Co?
Yeah,
But that's not a that's
I
not
know.
a sit down
I
treat
know.
yourself.
Listen,
place.
I know.
That's like you go to the noodle farm and
maybe
you pick your noodle.
Carrabba's,
They all closed here except for that one.
except for the one by my house.
It's literally a journey. Okay, so we have 5 points that we've pulled from the Olive Garden. And this is what we think breeds kind of the interactions that we saw
Yeah.
on Thursday, both
Yes.
the Ziosk conundrum and the
So,
chicken
are
parm.
you an Olive Garden bakery or
And an Hermes.
an Hermes?
An Hermes.
An Hermes.
So if you don't know what Hermes is, I'm not saying it right because I can't afford it. It is a very, very extremely high-end brand of purses. And we're going to talk about that in a second as it relates to Olive Garden. How we're going to marry these two together. You hold on.
With
For a
some
wild
marinara.
So Olive Garden attracts a certain type of customer. And they're on this podcast right now. We're sitting right here,
Listen,
right?
I'm that customer.
I love the Olive Garden. The Olive Garden is not fast food. However, it is a sit-down restaurant that is about as fast as it can be. We are right there. Whatever the next little speed hump is, we're at a fast food restaurant. So what it attracts, since it is a sit-down restaurant, and I'm going to say it's not the cheapest, right?
It's not.
You're not at Applebee's price. The Applebee's is next to this Olive Garden.
I will say Applebee's is pretty.
Can we just call it Crapplebee's?
My
My apologies if you like the Crapple. Okay, the Olive Garden is the highest end of a low budget. So
Yeah.
let's say somebody's like, this is a big meal for me. This is like a higher end because it is not the cheapest place.
Mm-hmm.
But it may be at the highest end of somebody with a lower budget.
Yeah.
And those type of people.
Ruth Chris is a
Me.
steakhouse, isn't it? Around the country.
Yeah.
It's high end.
Morton's high end. What's that one that opened in restaurant, the Endless Meat?
Oh,
Fogo de Chao?
Fogo de Chao.
Yeah. Somebody said it was shoe.
Yeah, on the. I heard actually
Okay,
there.
what was it?
It was something like Fogo de Chao.
It's not Fogo de Chao. So we got a lot of high-end budget things that we cannot pronounce. You're going to just have to stick around. If you want to call into the podcast, let us know what this is actually called. If you haven't, bag, you can tell us how it's pronounced. So anyways, at the Olive Garden, you have people where this is at the top end of their budget. So they want an experience that's at the top end.
Yeah.
But if we're honest with the Olive Garden, it is a moderately priced place.
Yeah.
I think it was akin to like Cheddar or something like that. Probably beats out Crapplebee's. Does
Oh,
it
step
beat out?
above.
Wait. Cracker Barrel.
It beats out the Cracker.
Okay, good. I thought some people like the Cracker Barrel.
I love the Cracker
I
Barrel,
don't know.
but I will say I expected a little bit more when going.
Give me an equal restaurant of Olive Garden.
Macaroni Grill.
Man, you're getting these one-hit wonders. They're all awesome.
Okay, Famous Dave's comes at that same level to me.
I can say that.
Red
Sit down.
Lobster.
Red Lobster. Okay, that's a good one. They're actually owned by each other.
They are the brothers.
Okay, so we have the highest end of low budget, and then we have the lowest end of a high budget. So Corey, the Darden company, owns both Seasons 52, which is a higher end restaurant for us.
Uh-huh.
Again, it's not Morton's or whatever.
No.
And it also owns the Olive Garden. So at the Olive Garden, I've never at Seasons 52 seen what she described or heard the people behind us
No.
where they're like, I want a to-go meal extra for free and a different meal, and I want to keep the one that I have. I've never seen that at Seasons 52. And Seasons 52, the average dish, I'm going to say, is around $30,
Yeah.
where the Olive Garden is around $12.
And listen, Seasons 52, you don't get free bread.
No.
Salad is an extra charge.
Salad is extra charge of a whole meal.
Yeah, it's a whole meal. It doesn't even you don't even get a
So
side
with a
salad.
salad at Seasons 52, you could get the entire experience of Olive Garden.
Yeah, I will say that salad is teeny tiny. Delicious, but tiny.
The Seasons 52 one. Whereas Olive Garden, it's completely free
And endless.
and it's a bucket.
And you get endless bread.
If the bucket at Olive Garden wasn't tapered, it would be just a beach bucket.
I would be like, can we get a bucket for her and a bucket for me?
I'm just going to dig into it. So when you price your cookies at the highest part of a lower budget, you're introducing these people who are like, I want the highest level experiences I can buy. Which, okay, do they deserve a high-end experience? Yeah, but not necessarily with your cookies, because you don't have enough time to make everyone feel like red carpet experience when their budget is kind of like Saturday in the movies,
For
right?
sure. Absolutely.
And then when we price, I mean, I think people are so worried about crossing over into what's considered expensive with their bakes. But on the other side of that, you're probably, when you cross over, the lowest end of a high budget.
Yeah. You're more budget friendly.
Right. So you're almost, the savings, you're like, oh my goodness, of course, I thought this was going to be double the price. So just with a small upgrade in your pricing structure, you take yourself from Olive Garden, which I love, but that was outrageous to watch play out, to Seasons 52, which I also love, but never have experienced that.
The customer difference between the two it's insane. A lot of people get too scared. If I charge more, I'm going to get fewer customers.
You're going to get fewer, cheaper customers.
You are going to get fewer, cheaper customers, but the customers you're getting at this new price point will make up for the ones you don't get at the cheaper price point. When I get a customer that is willing to pay $80 a dozen, I feel like they're the easiest people. It blows my mind that they're willing to pay that much.
You know Mikey?
Yeah.
He works in servers. They build out physical servers for bigger companies. And he says, Heather, we used to work with people whose monthly budget was $1,500. He said they were the nightmares. Everything. Why is this down? And then they said, we're no longer working. Of course, he works for a multi-million-dollar company.
Yeah.
So he said, yeah, suddenly the company had a process change and no longer working with anybody under a threshold of $6,000. He said, as soon as we only worked with $6,000 and up customers, $6,000 and up, just support. He's like, the help desk, crickets. Because the people at $6,000, they were like, oh, you figured out I don't need to babysit you. But the people at $1,500, Mikey said, this was at the top. This was eating a majority of their IT budget, and they had to make sure they were getting their money's worth.
Yeah. We had a customer that was paying $10,000 a month. They did email, but it wasn't like, oh my goodness, panic mode. Then we had this company that we were talking to, and he owned a restaurant. And for $300 is what his budget was. He said, I want you to eat, sleep, and drink my company.
Yeah, I remember sending him that email saying, sir, no.
You couldn't eat, sleep, and drink for $300.
Right. And then within a year, that company, the restaurant had closed. So go to see it this way. Like, that is what is the difference. And I know I see it in the group. Like, don't tell me about my prices are wrong because I live in a poor place. You live in a poor place where they're buying $70,000 F-150s.
Yeah.
The money is there, is the value proposition there. And I know people are like, well, what if I raise my prices and everyone goes to me? Then lower them. In the same. And then you can also step it up. You can say, this quote, I'm going to just add $5.
Yeah.
$5 won't make a huge difference. But if you do that across the board, maybe do it for a couple months. Then somebody comes in, you do, okay, I'm going to go raise it another $5.
Yeah.
It's not going from 20 to 40, which is 100% increase. You're going from 20 to 25. You're going from 25 to 30. And you're kind of building yourself up to that higher end, the lower end of a high-end budget client.
Now let's talk about Hermes. Hermes is a high-end
I think you got a
purse.
two highs. High-end.
high-end purse. The most expensive Hermes bag right now is $379,000.
I have it seriously. Want me to get it?
Oh, yeah. Please. I would like to live in it. But these Hermes bags, they range. I think you can get one, and correct me if I'm wrong, couple grand, entry level.
I don't know that you can. But
Couple grand.
Let's see.
I left that pretty broad.
You talk.
Hermes is the highest of the highest. It's a luxury item through and through. What do you find?
Are you saying the cheapest Hermes bag?
Yeah.
10 grand.
10 grand.
These,
Is it the Cali? or the Birkin?
Okay, it's Birkin.
Okay,
What
there's
is
a Birkin and
Birkin?
Kelly. I don't even know the difference.
Aw, we're so poor. Somebody out there in podcast
Literally,
land is
I
like,
watch-
I'm wealthy and you're saying I'm
I
wrong.
watched TikToks of these people unboxing these bags. The way that Hermes works is you have to prove to the company that you're worth them offering a bag to. So that's between $15,000 and $20,000 a year that you need to spend before they even think that you're able to be offered
So
a
let me
bag.
ask. So you have to spend $20,000 on a bag that you got
On accessory stuff.
because they have belts.
They have they have
kerchiefs
glasses and all
perfume.
that kind of thing.
So you had to buy $20,000 in accessories to be on the list to
be
get a bag.
even on the list for your sales associate to even be able to offer you a bag. When you get offered a bag,
No, hold that out because we
Sure.
got some more Olive Garden and I want to
Sure.
contrast
Okay.
compare. At the end of this, we're giving away an Hermes bag. But you can get a code for 8 Okay, our second point is freebies will...
listen, if you listen to this to the end, I'm giving you free breadsticks at the Olive Garden.
You know what? Throw in the salad. We'll get the free salad.
Extra dressing? All right. You're pushing it.
Freebies will cost you. If the Olive Garden knows anything, it knows freebies in a way that no other restaurant, I think, can compare. And I know the Red Lobster, the lobster's giving you the bread, the
that
cheesy
bread
bread.
is amazing.
But nobody touches the freebie. I mean, as soon as you sit down, somebody's running football style to your table with the basket of bread. And salad.
Really, you get endless
Endless.
breadsticks.
Dangerous.
Endless.
I'm going to say the salad technically is no longer endless. It has to be attached to an entree or soup.
But you can get endless soup or endless salad. So if you order an entree, you can say, I want endless soup or endless salad.
Yeah, I want to say that since Corey and I delete absolutely every client bashing thread in the group, we're actually thirsty for client bashing. So we go to Olive Garden and ask this poor lady to tell us the client bashing. She said that a couple came in and they're like, we'd like the endless soup and salad to share. And they're like, she'll have the endless soup and I'll have the endless salad. But you can't. Share.
It's not an endless soup and salad. It's attached to the entree.
Yeah, what an awkward situation because they had to call.
Yeah, they
over
did. They did.
to say you can't be.
They said
an
you get
endless
one
soup
free this time.
for you. Yeah, and then a salad for you. You had to do endless soup and salad and
And
an
they're like,
endless
but we
soup
did
and
see you give her some salad pieces.
salad. At Seasons 52 have yet to see because there's no endless anything. In fact, it's all charged.
It is. It is.
So back to the freebies will cost you. If you haven't been to an Olive Garden, you've been living under a rock. You've been living under a breadstick, but you get free breadsticks as soon as your butt hits that chair.
Yeah, that's what they bring to you. They're like, hey, welcome. Here's some free breadsticks to you. Do you guys ready to order?
You can ask for butter dip. Is that paid? I know you can ask for butter squares, and that's free.
Butter dip is paid, I
It
think.
is, but you can get more than one dipping. So I
Yeah.
think they kind of add.
Yeah, you can get endless
So,
dip.
and then eat your bread, and then another bread basket appears.
Yeah, do you want more bread?
I will call Olive Garden out on this. As you go through the baskets, there's fewer and fewer
but
breadsticks.
smart though. They don't want to waste.
So freebies will cost you that entitlement of you've given something free, which should make the client feel satiated, right? I got a whole extra meal. People are eating salads as whole meals. You get one for free. And of course, you wouldn't want to ask for anything else. But granted, we're at the highest end of a low budget.
Yeah, you're getting, how much can I get out of this meal?
I'm squeezing the juice of this berry. And again, it's the clientele that Olive Garden brings in. I love this place to I take a bullet for it.
I feel like people know that we do love the Olive Garden now, so we don't
Yeah.
have to be like, I love the Olive Garden, but
Get a tattoo of the Olive Garden.
no.
Breadsticks.
No.
So what we're saying now, bringing it back to your bakery, your breadstick bakery, is that a lot of times we like to throw in freebies because, like, I want my clients to love me forever. But what you've created is a dependency.
It's
not
an expectation,
Yes.
not a gift.
So imagine this. Let's paint the picture this way. Let's say Corey sells a dozen to a client and she's like, well, this is at the top end of my budget, $45 for this dozen. Corey's like, oh, simpler, more simple designs. But then Corey throws in 3 really fancy cookies. And he's like, thank you so much. She comes back and orders again. Corey throws in 3 additional cookies. Oh, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
The third time, the lady's like, oh, awesome, love it, Corey. But the fourth time, let's say Corey no longer throws in
Run
the
out of
cookies.
time.
Do you think that the lady will still be appreciative or will she say, what happened
Yep.
to those 3 cookies? Now, I saw this on a TikTok. The 4th and 5th and 6th time, you've created resentment. Now you've taken something from me that I had.
I know. But I was just out there trying to live my best life and be kind to you.
And in a way, and that does sound kind. It sounds really kind to give somebody something, but you can't create it as a standard. A gift must be that, a one-time gift.
Yeah.
But when we are so often, and I suffer from this, well, I'll just do it. The client will like me more. No. The client will expect more from you.
Yeah, for that same price. So when you finally are like, you know what, I got to charge you this time. It's not met with, well, thanks for the 5 free times.
It's saying, why is this time different than the 5 free times? So with Olive Garden, they get you through the door with the endless pasta and breadsticks. Like they get you through the door with that promise. But now there's an expectation that, why didn't you come and refill this? This is endless.
If I went to the Olive Garden and they're like, yeah, we are out of breadsticks today, I would not
like
be
a refund
happy.
for my breadsticks.
Because it's been such ingrained to me that it's a free thing I get with my meal.
Ingrained? It's like a bread pun.
I
got it.
Gluten. That if they took it away, I would be, I don't want to say upset over bread, but
the other day we
angry.
went and she was like, hey, I want to stress that we only are now sat in this wonderful lady's area.
Yeah, we do.
But she was like, yeah, the salad's kind of sad today.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was like, where it's wilty and you're
Yeah.
like, this could be a later trip to the bathroom with food poisoning.
Sad salad.
Right. So then I'm like, but it was a free salad. I
Yeah.
should be like, every time that salad graces a table, I should be like, oh,
But when
wow.
it came to the table, Heather said, yeah, it does look a little wilted.
I know, look at me being a salad aficionado. It's
know.
no Hermes salad.
I know.
So when we parallel this back to baking, those freebies sound great. Who doesn't like the word free?
Yeah.
But in the rare event that you do give something for free, make it limited and then make sure you say, hey, this one, this time, this is on me. Don't let it go under the radar. Don't make it seem like it's a standard
Don't
issue.
assume that they know that you're doing this. What I've learned, I used to just throw, when I bake, I will look, sometimes when I bake, I look at the toughest design I'm going to do. And I usually bake one extra cookie. I'm like, I will break that one or something horrendous will happen to this guy. I need its replacement. Yeah. If nothing happened to that guy, I would just decorate the last guy, throw him in the set.
And I ain't counting what I'm getting.
Right. So instead of now what I do is I try to just decorate the 12 you order and I make a cookie that actually says the words thank you.
A thank you cookie. An explicit sign that this cookie was not included in your order, but you are getting it.
Right. So to me, that has made it a little bit easier to say you are getting something for free, but it's not an expectation that you can have.
Kind of the same thing with infomercials, which we could do a whole break. I think we did an infomercial podcast where we talked about the genius of infomercials.
True.
An infomercial could say Gams really wants one of these hoses that expands, even though
she wants
pop.
one every year.
I know. She's really on the fence. The home improvement guy, the neighbor, the guy that has a beard.
I cannot remember.
Yeah, he's the guy behind it. Gams is like, that guy seems, I say he's from a sitcom. She didn't know where he was from. She just thought he seemed honest. But he says, buy one for $20, get another one free. But do you see how that makes you feel like you get something else versus buy two for $20?
Yeah.
Each one is $10.
Oh, yeah. You're like, wow, I got two.
Right. But we need that to be the exception. We need the gift to be said.
Yeah.
We can't make it be just understood. You got to toot your own horn there. And then I like to express, do not make someone dependent on you. And that's the continuation of this. It's actually called like caretaking. It's a codependency disorder. I'm going to give them and they'll like me.
Yeah.
But when they don't thank you for it, you'll hold resentment. And that's an indicator of that
I
disorder.
learned with a customer I've had for a while. She's like, I always know you throw in extras, but I need 4 extra this time.
Ooh.
Granted, she tips me an additional dozen worth of price, so I'm okay.
You see, you've created the little beginning of the housecape.
I said, oh, God.
Because here, she tips you additional. What if she doesn't? And you will be that to her.
I will.
What did I not do this time? What's not? What do you want from me?
Yeah. Yes.
So you're writing this before it all comes crashing down.
Yeah, I just felt that, and I was like, oh.
See, look, but she's tipping you a whole dozen. Now you guys are both like,
yeah, I know. Yeah, we're like holding
and
her
then
breath.
she's going to be like, I'll tip you a whole dozen if you give me 12.
Okay.
Wait, what? Then we have endless is the end. Now, this is, I got a tattletale on Olive Garden for a bit. Olive Garden did a campaign for endless soup.
Endless pasta.
Endless pasta. Okay, but did you know about the Olive Garden like gold pass? A lifetime endless pasta, but they ended up losing a ton of money on it because people
love pasta.
Yeah. So you have the whole syndrome. So Corey's husband is 6'5" and lifts.
He can lift 700 deadlift.
But can't pick up his own underwear off the floor.
Crazy.
Anyways, Nate eats a lot.
A lot.
And he's a lost leader on buffets. But when the Olive Garden, every once in a blue moon, they haven't done it for years since COVID started.
Yeah.
the endless pasta bowls, they're losing money on him. But what they do, and Corey notices this, and Nate holds a grudge about it because he'll outweight the wait staff. He's the worst person to go to Olive Garden with. They'll get the smaller and smaller portions as you go down this endless.
First bowl, big old bowl of spaghetti. Then the next bowl is this tiny bowl with like
a shot glass of spaghetti
on top. And then they don't come back to the table for like 20 minutes.
Yeah. But Nate says he'll just wait. But likely what they're waiting for you is for your body to register that you're full.
Yeah.
But Nate's just like, no, I'm just going to sit here and wait.
The man won't make himself sick.
Yeah. So they discontinued the endless possibles after this became like symptomatic. Tables weren't turning over. The wait staff was waiting longer. People were getting more irate. So while endless, imagine if you said to a client, like, we got endless of anything. You're going to think that the client is just your bosom buddy. Like, they are going to love you to death. But what in reality, endless is the end of a good experience because what happens is this expectation. Now, a lot of Olive Garden's issues come with the expectation that I deserve what is free. Mm-hmm. And that is kind of with the endless is the end. Now, back to the Hermes thing. Corey had sent me the TikTok that she's referencing. The guy says, when you get to this one, they call you up randomly and say, hey, you've been selected.
Yeah, you'll take a day off of work. You only have that one opportunity.
And if you don't show up, you're blacklisted.
Yeah, they won't offer it to you again.
But when you get there, the guy's like, you can say in your mind, like, I hate the color white. I hate white bags. Mm-hmm. And they're like, hey, we have a white bag. If you do not buy that bag, you'll never have the option to buy a color you want.
A lot of people say that if they'll buy the bag they don't want just for the opportunity to maybe next year get a bag they do want.
After having, next year they have to reset the clock and buy the accessories again, right?
But now if you didn't turn the first one down, granted, Hermes has never said if you turn one down, we'll never offer to you again.
But it's understood.
It is. It's this weird culture.
Exclusivity that if you want this, you have to give up everything. So on the flip side, we got Olive Garden just pummeling you with breadsticks and butter. And then we have Hermes who may look at you at the side of the corner of their eye. And if you do, you take off an entire day of work to go spend $10,000 on something you don't really want for the opportunity to spend $20,000 the next year on a bunch of tchotchkes to maybe get that call again.
You're begging for a bag. Whereas Olive Garden's begging you to take a breadstick and leave a review.
I know so many of you want to be like, I live in a breadstick area. I live in a free butter, endless salad bucket area, and Hermes is not here. Mm-hmm. They don't. Nobody has the money. Listen, everyone has money. Everyone is pulling a paycheck. The value proposition is the difference between making the sale and not making the sale. So if someone says, well, to give you my money doesn't feel as good as keeping it, you haven't made the sale. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you could be the Hermes version of a baker in your area, but your value proposition, like Hermes is so exclusive, it makes you want it.
Yeah.
But a lot of times what we our own like ball and chain and we say like, oh, we can't, my area can't sustain it. Not if they have Ford F-150s, which are sold every 7 seconds in America. They can't afford it because those trucks are really expensive.
I know, and they find the value in it. Mm-hmm. Cookies are a luxury. You could go get a great little bakery set from Target and it tastes great.
You know what's so funny? Corey and I think we're kind of expensive cookie class tickets at $75. Uh-huh. What we did is we took the most expensive class in the area, $85, and took off $10. Yeah. Okay, but I accidentally found the classes again, thinking that they wanted a price match us. No, they've raised theirs an additional $10. They're at $95.
$95.
And like we're still at $75. And I know that they got classes for the rest of the year.
We're upping it, man. The thing is, I want to tell you my level of clients, I don't have to draw them what the set will be. I'm not in Procreate designing anything. They don't get a say in what the cookies look like. But guess what? They still buy from me. They're the easiest people to work with. Mm-hmm. Corey, just get it done.
I think that people who, and I love Olive Garden, are like, I've got Olive Garden clients, they're like beat down. They're like, if I raise I'm already getting price objections. If I raise this another $1, they're going to break down my door.
Are they breathing down your neck over every single design?
You are in the highest end of a low budget. Thanks for liking the Facebook page, guys.
Wow, they're going crazy.
11,520. Nice. Got one of those like counters. Smurl knows it's worth. That thing was overpriced.
The thing is, you guys got to remember that if you're priced too low, you're going to get some picky clients because every single cent counts.
Absolutely. And I'm going to need to stretch this dollar the farther. I need to beat you down on price. I need to get the most for the littlest amount.
Yeah. But if you charge more, you're going to get the people saying, I'm just happy you're baking for me. Thank you, Hermes, for offering me a bag I don't want.
So you may think, okay, so the twin just said $75. I need to price my class at $70. We live in a high cost of living area. There's a ratio. There's a relative thing. So in your area, and I did this for when I went to sell that motorcycle, I did the East Coast. How many of this make and model and year were for sale on the East Coast, and what was their average price?
Nice.
So in your area, you can price out kind of the vibes of what everything is going for. And I would like to be myself at the high. I was the second highest price for that bike. But instead of I could have the one.
You could be the lowest price, and I'm sure.
Yeah. So what I did, instead of being the lowest price to try to move the motorcycle as quickly as possible, I was the second from the highest priced, but the most photos, the most copy.
Yeah.
So the guy that said, he's like, actually,
they felt confident in you when they bought.
Right. And that's not because of price competition. What it was value competition. The guy said, there's one I wanted more than yours, but he has no words about it.
Yeah.
Like there's no copy.
That uneasiness.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to give this person my money before I get that motorcycle in my hands. Are they going to run away with both?
Absolutely. In my copy, I say I have every scanned receipt of the maintenance done on this bike during my ownership. I can send that all to you, know exactly where you're starting.
So he was willing to pay a little bit more for that guarantee.
Absolutely. So we didn't compete on price, but what I was, even though I was the highest end for this motorcycle, I competed on the value proposition. And like Hermes does, like, hey, I'll decide if I want to sell it to you.
If you haven't raised your prices yet, you're still at the Olive Garden price and you're like, you know what, this sounds good. I do want to raise my price. You are going to hit a little bit of a lull on booked orders because you are turning away from your typical audience to a higher end audience. It's not an overnight thing. I get ghosted a lot.
But during that lull, man, work on your value proposition.
Yeah.
Get the better photos. Learn photography. Really, I mean, at the end of the day, you can take it in the cookie college. I highly recommend. But if you don't have the budget for it, there is YouTube. There's nothing I can't learn on YouTube.
Not one.
I had the most obscure question day about Illustrator, and somebody made a whole video just answering that one question. So in the times that you switch over, there's this lull. There's a lull of your other clients saying, that's a little expensive. And then there's a lull of you finding these new clients. To find those new clients, you don't want to compete on price because we just raised our price. We want to compete now on value. We want the better photos. Get you the A-core backers. Get you the nicer iPhone. Get you a Lightroom subscription. And then learn about copy, which is what we obviously talk about at length in the cookie groups and everything. But that's where your new competition is. My photos look better than my competition's. That's where we're at. Now my prices are lower.
Yeah. It is so stressful to be a race to the bottom.
Well, the bottom is the end.
Yeah. Like
like your
I'm
breadsticks.
cheaper than this person down the road so I can get more sales. That'll work, but you will burn out.
Yeah, there's not enough hours a day. We're all competing with the same clock.
And the royal icing is all misbehaving all across the board.
Right. Yeah, that's a rough one. We can't compete on it. You can't compete. You'll be operating off of such thin margins that you'd almost have to get a brick and mortar to hire help. And then you're eating more of your margins. And it's too stressful.
It's not a situation you want to be in. What you want to be in is not the lowest person in your area. You want to be kind of that
top,
higher end.
Higher end.
When you buy something and it is higher quality, there is a value associated with that. Like if I go for the cheapest price, will I get a cheap product?
Absolutely. That's exactly what happened with that car I bought. I bought the cheapest one. Jokes on me. It's ended up costing me an additional just thousands of dollars to get it to actually be one. I wish I would have bought one.
But you can't go back. But they're in your mind now. Now it's even more defined in your mind that the cheapest thing is not going to cost you the most.
Absolutely. And I think our clients are really, except for me, because I'm an idiot, they're really attuned to that. And especially that Hermes client, which again, we're not likely selling. Some of Corey's clients will be coming in these Mercedes.
I don't know. I'm like,
I just looking at their bags saying, is that a Birkin? How do you pronounce Hermes? But that is the difference. So when you're competing at the lowest, you think, look, I'm giving my clients the cheapest experience. It'll be the best experience. And you may be absolutely phenomenal, but they're not registering you as being absolutely phenomenal at that price point.
No.
So again, what we want to compete on is value. We do not want to compete on price. If anything, we never want. That would be the last chess piece I move.
I know. Yeah.
How many other pieces can we move before we have to kind of fiddle with what pays our bills?
I will say I messed up with a lady a couple months ago. While we were at CookieCon, she emailed. She wanted a birthday party set. And I was emailing her back and forth. I think I archived the email.
If you do a lefty swipe when it should have been a
Lefty swipe, and I'm always have my phone in hand doing weird things, friending weird people. I did that. And by the time I realized, oh my goodness, she needed that birthday set, I went and looked at the email that it was the day
you hadn't taken her money.
I hadn't taken her money, but I had left her hanging. Like, when you think you had a baker on lock, and then
Like,
we were doing this,
I got ghosted by somebody I'm trying to give money to.
So then I was like, you know what? In a desperate attempt to maybe earn her business, at least to avoid a 1-star review, I said, if you ever want to order again, I'm going to give you 50% off.
But also a compassionate thing. It was you were at fault.
For sure. I said, I am so sorry.
Yeah.
So she ends up ordering. So I did this set. I gave it 100%. I said, wow, I hate making the set. I'm making $0. I am spending money on this set. But she's a customer for life. I explained it. I said, this is 50% off the normal price. I even said the normal price is this.
Great. Oh, that's
You're getting it for this.
It feels greedy, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, we have the bread versus the bag. And this is kind of tying back to what we've been talking about, but the bread is free. The bag is the opposite of free. It is the most. But when that experience, I almost wish everyone could go on like a field trip with us to Olive Garden and then season 52. I just want to say, like, at Olive Garden, screaming kids, kind of like par for the course. Like, absolutely, there's a screaming child, there's your salad. At season 52, one time there was a kid screaming, and I think they were like, can we sit you in this corner somewhere in the back so nobody hears you? But it's just two different experiences at restaurants owned by the same company, and boy, does it show. One, you would definitely have a great date on. The other, you'd have a great meal on.
Yeah. The thing that you have to remember, you are not your ideal client. The reason we are baking these is because we thought someone else was too expensive. When we ordered for our children, when we went to order for a party, it was too expensive. So we were like, hey, that's too expensive. I'm going to save some money. I'm going to learn how to do this hellhole myself. So you might think no one will pay that higher price.
Because you're thinking of bags as if their functionality is to carry something. And that's the incorrect thought for our clients. Bags, I can get a grocery bag and it'll accomplish the same thing an Hermes bag does functionally. But what it doesn't accomplish is emotional. It doesn't. An Hermes bag is a status, a brand, a status recognition. This person, wow, you must have a lot of disposable income, expendable income. A grocery bag, like, well, you're hauling stuff, probably groceries.
You are carrying some things.
You are getting someplace and your finger circulation is getting cut off. But what we think is, well, this is food. No, this is an Hermes cookie. Yeah. Right? This is the cookie version of Hermes Oreos. Buddy, that's food, and I love it. But that's not what people. If somebody orders from you and you hand them a thing of Oreos, they'd be like, "What in the world? This isn't what I wanted."
But you got to think, you are making a custom.
Do people understand what they're actually ordering? People aren't ordering food from you. They're ordering a perfect gift, completely designed for somebody they want to impress.
Absolutely, like to have a kid's name piped onto the top of something you're going to eat.
What a status symbol gift.
Oh my soul. To have your party all match.
I know when the client gets it, when they get these obscure items together to show the person they're giving the gift to, look at how much I know about you. Look at how much I care about you, that I know these obscure things, and I got these things transferred to cookies.
Yeah, this person loves high heel boots. Can you do a boot cookie? Like, the
Corey
people are asking.
had me print a cutter from scratch.
Yeah.
That was floral purple irises and a dinosaur. That was the gift. Yeah. And I was like, these are really weird. And Chris like, yeah, they're actually going together. The dinosaur will be purple like the flowers.
But that order was 3 designs, 3 colors. I think I threw an extra color because I felt bad. And they paid $100. I got a tip. So they paid $160 for it.
Because it wasn't Oreos. It was Hermes.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people are like, the twins have like commercialized the cookie business. It's a business. You're giving people this status symbol for their parties. They could do Oreos. I've done Oreos. I think my son has grown up on Walmart birthday cakes.
At the time that you can do charity work for cookies, let me know, man, because you must already have your bills done paid. But this stuff, and I don't even bake, but I look at what you guys do and I think, wow, this is so challenging. This is so difficult. The way that you guys are doing like the little transfers, like, wow, you guys are putting in so much effort there. You should get paid for that. And everyone expects that, except for sometimes bakers don't. I think that's so funny.
I know. But you are the Hermes.
but you're eating Olive Garden, and that's great. But you have to almost put on the Hermes hat. I'm sure it's $1 billion, your Hermes cap, and think of your client. They don't want to give Oreos. That's not what they want to do.
They don't want value because they can get value at the Oreo section.
They want recognition. They want brand recognition. They want to have the Hermes of cookies coming into that baby shower.
When someone orders cookies for a 1-year-old's birthday party, that 1-year-old will never remember that birthday party.
Really?
What they are doing is showing off to their friends and family, look, I love my kid. Everything matches. This is a cute birthday.
Yeah.
Look at this stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But like we want to... Oh, let me go back to this. Okay, this is just a little deviation. It's still about the Olive Garden, but it's an interesting psychological experience. We understand what the message is today. Price like Hermes, and understand that that's what the psychology of it is. But the sweet payoff. So in a psychology, we went to Olive Garden today, obviously. Corey was the screaming child. But sitting in the waitress's section, she's like, I always forget to give you guys these little Andes mints. I don't know
chocolates.
Yeah, but they're branded Olive Garden on it, but they're clearly Andes mints.
They are.
Love them to death.
Delish.
She honestly takes 2 fistfuls, throws them on the table. It's just a riot. But they did a study that's tested when people before the Zios kicked in.
Yeah.
But you'd give somebody the check on that little tin thing, the little plasticky thing. They tested if the waiter gave it with the chocolates before the check, with chocolates handing the check, and after the check, they gave the chocolates. And giving the chocolates with the check earned the waitstaff 23% more in tips because it felt like, hey, I'm doing this for you. This is an extra thing. And I know we just went down the hellscape of saying don't do extra things. But when you do say, hey, guys, this is a little extra something from me, even though it's clearly from the company, but that waitstaff gets to choose. I know Olive Garden gets to choose if they give you those little candies.
They do.
But when they give you this thing you didn't even ask for, after this whole meal of free, you are 23% more likely to tip. So that's what that car cookie is if you say it.
I know what sucks is like you take payment beforehand. You're like, by the by, there's a car cookie.
Now everyone's going to like 50% at pickup. But there's a psychological aspect of it of something like, wow, you gave me something extra. Thank you so much. What you could do is ask for that review. That's going to be far more valuable than reaching out.
Yes, it will.
Do you know what's happening with Facebook reviews right now?
No.
Someone posted about it in the group, and I said, oh no, this is happening unrecommendations on Facebook with those like weird Bitcoin scams post. Unrecommendations. Before they were recommendations.
That. Yeah, that's
insane.
So crazy.
Okay, let me pull up our text. Let's hope somebody texted in. Not, I'm just going to pretend I didn't say this. Heard on. Okay, we got some. We got one. Okay. Good morning, twins. You are currently joining me on a long commute here in Florida, which I must mention, any car trip I now look forward to as I binge listen to your podcast. I'm like, where will we go in Florida? Okay. Congratulations on 500,000 downloads. My question, I've never been to a cookie con, but I live in Orlando, and I'm seriously considering attending. It's really overwhelming, though, and a little confusing about what days and classes should I attend. Do you have to go to all of them? I'm wondering if you could do a podcast all about the benefits of your cookie business going to Cookie Con. P.S. How do we sign up for your happy hour in Orlando? When and where? Count me in. P.P.S. I just received my EIN number and I'm officially a side hustle cookie business.
Woo!
Thank you for inspiring me to begin selling instead of just gifting my cookies. Teresa from Flour, Eggs, and Yeast.
That is a great topic to do it on. We didn't really experience Cookie Con for the full thing. I took one class.
Well, we taught it. So we'll give her that. We should do a whole podcast.
Let's
on
do
this.
a whole podcast.
Just do a quick rundown, though.
Oh, okay.
Just a quick,
all right.
a little glimpse.
Yeah. Okay.
We're still on the Florida trip. She's still listening. So I would say that Cookie Con is, if you think like, I'll go to Cookie Con and I'll come back and I'll be a millionaire. No. It is a lot of what you make of it, right? There are 2 days of classes that you are supposed to attend, all the classes. Then they have the add-on and electives. So the electives are included in your ticket, and the add-ons and the additional payment if you wanted to take those. If you're trying to save money, the add-ons are like, I would say like, I want to perfect this very specific skill.
Yeah, like flowers on toothpicks.
Now you took an add-on.
I took flowered canvases.
Add-on with the people?
Decorating, yeah.
So what were you trying to perfect there, people?
I just thought that it was this cute set, and she's a nice lady.
How long was the class? 4 hours or 8?
Yeah, 4 hours.
So it seems like those classes are 4 and 8 hours. Those start, from what I can tell, almost 2 days before CookieCon officially starts. So that opening ceremony.
That's what this pastime was. Before, it used to be a little bit more coinciding.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. So on your days of the core classes, and then you have electives. So you're definitely going to take your cores, and everyone will take those same classes. You'll go in and out of them. As you leave, another class is
I will
coming
say
in.
the core classes are fantastic. If you pay attention, you take notes, you're going to learn a lot. And they've really brought a lot of business aspects into it. I think in the past they haven't been so businessy, but they had photography one,
Sales.
pre-sales one,
I think cookie classes.
cookie classes.
Like in packaging and stuff like that, which is all, like, to me, that's
Yeah.
all part of sales.
Yeah.
Sales and business. So those, I think, if that was all you did, great. And then also included in that is the vendor hall. So unlike people who just buy a shopper's pass, you get the vendor hall the day it opens. People who just buy the $20 shopping pass get it the day after it opens. So you get 3 full days with the whole CookieCon ticket, 2 days with just the shopper's pass.
Yeah.
Now, included in the full ticket is the opening ceremony, which is just more of a talking thing, but you also get the closing ceremony, which is a plated dinner, which was really nice.
That was very
It
fancy.
was very fancy. But it is a blast. It is a lot of choose your own adventure. You can choose which game night you go to. You can choose which electives. You can add add-ons if you want. You can join little fun things. So at Ohio, I noticed that a lady was selling like door banners. So you know, like that's a CookieCon attendee. And then there's the trade aspect of it, which goes throughout the entire thing. So by the end, people are like chucking trades at you because they don't want to fly home with them.
So can it help you grow your business? Yes, if you're trying to learn certain techniques, like if I could just learn florals, then I could charge more and that would be fantastic. But now the core classes have been really much geared towards
business and sales and that kind of value proposition that we talk about in the podcast. So I'm going to say, if you're like, Heather, it's between me going to CookieCon and me eating tomorrow, eat tomorrow. But if you say, hey, I've actually been saving, I've been working really hard, I'm having a great year, definitely add CookieCon. It's on your list. I highly recommend. I think it's a lot of fun.
There's nothing like it.
No.
So it is amazing because it brings all these people who know different aspects of business together.
Yes.
And you can learn the artistic version of it. Some people are there and they're hobby bakers. They are not businesses.
Yeah. When we taught it, which I kind of felt like maybe at that time we were one of the only business classes.
I felt like it was that year.
Yeah, we pulled each class saying, raise your hand if this is your first year in business. It was probably 80%.
Mm-hmm.
So now I wonder if that's the same or not. I'm not sure.
I know, I'd be curious.
Yeah, but there's a lot to learn. And I think CookieCon has kind of moved into the, like, let's get people who've been in business.
Yeah.
And who want to
share that
sales.
so you can learn. So, if even if it's a hobby, you can learn something. And if you're a business, you can learn something.
Also, just going to a convention around your obscure hobby is so interesting to me. Like, I go to Comic-Con.
Understand.
Yeah. Like these obscure jokes that nobody knows what Eddie is in the real world.
Bleeding? You think that a massacre happened.
Right. But it's like this crazy experience that all these random people across even the globe, because I know people come from other countries. We've got some Australians coming. Once we met a lady from Trinidad and Tobago.
I know.
And you're like, wow, all these people know these inside jokes. And it's kind of comforting to see a bunch of people giggle at an obscure fact.
I enjoyed meeting the people that we had seen online and only like behind a comment, like their profile picture was the size of an ant. And now you're seeing them in person.
It is quite the experience. So it is what you make of it. If you really want to grow your business, I do think it can be a tool for you, but definitely it will. I mean, it's kind of like $1,000 type trip out the door with food and flights and rooms and stuff. So definitely consider like, hey, this is a budget buster if you're not planning ahead. I would not go to CookieCon on a whim unless Hubs like got in a super amount of trouble and was like, you can go anywhere you want. So that's a great question. Now, speaking of the CookieCon happy hour, the day before orientation, not the day before CookieCon starts, the day before the orientation, there's just going to get together at one of the local restaurants in the convention center.
Super relaxed.
Super chill.
Wear whatever you want. Just make sure you wear something.
That would be great. Well, there goes my outfit. But Heather Campbell Brookshire is the sponsor of that happy hour. She is a Disney adult through and through. She actually sent me a postcard from Disney World.
Nice.
And she is a Disney trip planner. If you want to go to CookieCon and make Disney a part of it, or if you just want to go to Disney.
Honestly, that's the way to do it.
Don't do it yourself. You don't pay her. She does it for free.
Yeah,
she gets some like Disney
go
points.
To CookieCon, the second greatest place on earth, and Disney, the greatest place on earth, at the same time.
I saw a meme and I meant to send it to her. I posted it in the group, and I was like, one day aliens will land and think that we all just worshipped a mouse.
That's
But yeah, if you want to learn more about that CookieCon happy hour, Teresa, you can go to the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group on Facebook and click on events. It'll be one of the only events
because it's coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, it is July.
Dude.
God bless America. It is. So Corey and I feel that for custom specifically, and that's one thing I wanted to talk about this. The reason why you don't feel a slow in your sales if you do vendor events is not because you've found the secrets, because the farmers markets are their big time is now.
Hey, I'm
if
waking up
farmers markets were your only business model, you'd have a very slow time come the fall and spring.
Yeah.
So that's why, and that's a podcast topic for another day, diversification of lead generation would be great. But that's why people were like, well, vendor, I'm not slowing down the summer. You're doing vendors market because the vendor market is doing the marketing for you, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But custom, that stuff gets real slow after Father's Day.
Custom classes when people are...
Yeah, so Corey and I noticed a big slowdown in custom orders because Father's Day was last week.
Yeah, wow.
Woof.
I mean, I had custom orders. Graduation was at the same time, oddly, up here.
Yeah, I don't know why this era was so late.
Yeah, this was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, craziness.
And
back to school is 1 week early, I learned, for this area.
Oh, really?
For Prince William.
Really?
Yeah, she's like, thank goodness they only have 6 weeks. They only have technically
6?
8 weeks off.
Oh.
And she's like, because they're going back a week
Just
early.
2 months? That's going to fly by. So anyways, if you're a custom seller and you're not into vendor markets, you have 2 full months of value proposition re-engineering to sharpen up your skills, to get everything dialed in, to pre-plan your Christmas offerings, to get them cookie classes posted, and to really just, sharpen that up, because come September, it'll be too late.
I'm not ready.
I don't think we're ready.
I'm ready to make Christmas cookies because I'm so slow.
I'm ready. I know it's still June. I'm ready for the temperature to drop a little bit.
It's been a humid week this week.
It has been humid.
A little humid.
I'm a little sweaty.
Little humid.
But that brings... So if you want to text into the podcast, thank you so much for you folks who do. Again, it really breaks up this podcast. Really, it's 571-556-5644. Feel free to text. You can call in. I don't check those as often because I actually had to download the file, pre-listen to it, and then I got to upload it. And it's an additional 30 seconds.
Heather's telling you
Please
she's lazy.
Please just text.
And texts are easier to read.
Text.
Or you can email.
That's a good one too.
Hello at sugarcookiemarketing.com.
You used to play this game where the one twin would say a word and you had to build a whole sentence off it. Try it. Hi.
How
are
you
doing
today?
It
is
very
humid.
You can take it wherever you want to go. The longer it gets, the crazier. Okay, moving on. We have no Facebook Live.
We have no Facebook Lives, but we do have an event coming up on Friday.
I gotta say, I printed off.
Heather said make breadstick cookies and then sends me this X.
2 breadsticks.
And I said, what is that? And she's like, it's 2 breadsticks from the above view.
And of course, like, that doesn't look it. So until I'm going to demonstrate it in real life what they look like.
It did not look like a breadstick.
Right.
I am not that talented.
I want you to try it.
I am not that talented.
I want you to try it.
You got to make a cute breadstick that I can add a face to. That's where I'm at in my life. Side view. Beep.
And a face?
Boop.
So he looks like a worm? That is crazy. Maybe I will do it. This bamboo printer.
Oh, Heather's just printing up a stem worm.
This thing is so crazy.
You have little printer shreds on the ground.
Yeah, I know.
When I was down there
with
the cat.
I was telling Corey this. Like, the printer tells you how to maintain it. Wow, Ender, thanks. I didn't know what you needed. So this printer will be like, I think you need to grease the Z-axis. And then scan this QR code and it tells you how to do it. So it said, use some grease. And I was like, from my forehead? No, it's humid. And then I was like, oh yeah, it came with this thing called thermal grease in the packet. So I opened that and I smeared it on the Z-axis.
That's what I want to know.
And then I thought, that's probably not what it wanted. Mm-hmm. That little packet was so little. So I Googled it and they're like, no, you need white lithium grease.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just flying blind here. Ordered it from Amazon. It was the hugest tube.
Technical, though.
Sounds technical. I need some white lithium grease. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. So anyways, I was cleaning off the Z-axis from my thermal paste.
Yeah.
Mistake.
Okay.
And I was like, it's little grooves. So imagine a screw that's like honestly 12 inches long. Yeah. And I was like, well, it's the best I can do. And then I had this thought. What if somebody's like, no, for $1 million, if you got every bit of thermal paste off of this, I'll give you $1 million. Do you know how long it's been?
Oh, it's been
Cleaning off those things?
Damn.
But here I am like, yeah, it's 2 minutes. That's all I got of me. Anyway, so I cleaned them off more and then added the
Back
grease.
to the Sugar My Steak collab. It is Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Using the hashtag Sugar Cookie Marketing Collab. If you don't know what we're talking about, go back to podcast. We did a whole potty on it.
Patty?
Potty?
Yeah, I like it. We're
Whole
keeping
potty
it. Good old Patty on it. Patty. Okay, go to our sponsors.
Our sponsors, number 1, AE Core Backers. I went through my AE Core Backers the other day, and it just brought joy to my heart to see the ones I've collected.
That's your level up tip for the summer. If you say, I want something, code Sugar Cookie. That'll get you 20% off. And then you can start your summer transformation.
Yes, the value, Hermes, whatever you want to call it. Hermes has this thing that no matter what you buy from there, you're always going to get their elite packaging. They're known for their orange boxes with the brown bottoms. They're beautiful ribbon.
Would you ever buy one? Really?
I mean, I like Coach.
I like Coach.
Give me a budget. Give me a budget
I
bag.
don't think I could buy something $10,000. You couldn't use it. I would just stare at it and be like, it can't take you out.
I know you can buy
couldn't
resale.
definitely put it-
resale ones, but they'll be the old designs.
Oh, God.
Not like I would know.
We can't even pronounce it right.
I know. But I have no idea. Oh, if you're trying to up your whole branding, the way that you present to people is a big way that you can ask for more money without actually saying the words, give me more money.
Mm-hmm.
And AE Core Backers can help you. It's food safe, it's matte, scratch resistant, waterproof. It's amazing for photos. If you've seen any photo that I've taken in the past few years, it has been on an AE Core Backers.
It really makes a world of difference. And you can save 20% on your order by using code Sugar Cookie. No, plural.
And check out, you literally said that. Like,
Yeah, I want to make sure they know. They know.
They
Use code Sugar Cookie, no plural. At checkout. And moving on, we have Eddie, the edible food printer.
Did you see you used him for the lemons?
Did you?
The lemon.
Oh, the lemon outfit.
The
Yeah.
lemon outfit.
So I have challenged Corey to make a reel. She wants to make a thank you cookie on a circle. So we're going to just do 3.5
3.5.
inch circle. And she's going to print on it a thank you cookie that I made in Illustrator using her colors. See what it looks like.
Yeah,
Taking a full spin.
Yeah, I'll have to show you. I'm gonna.
So you're going to have to use a tray, right? Because you, unfortunately, your circle
Absolutely.
logo.
I'm such a believer in trays now. Why did I ever live a life of balancing on that little tiny stick that pops out?
The tongue.
The tongue. Yeah. Not for me. I do not like to live
Eddie
that
has
life.
a tongue. If you guys don't know what Eddie is, and now you're picturing a man with a tongue, no, it's a 3D. It's not 3D. It's a printer that prints on food with edible ink. It is crazy.
It prints on royal icing. It prints on buttercream. It prints on fondant.
Donuts.
Hermes.
Hermes. But you can save $0 at checkout because Eddie doesn't have a discount code, but
He's the Hermes of printers.
I know,
He's
but
the
we
3D
actually
printers.
threw it
We
off.
talked about that.
my bamboo baby. My bamboo baby.
That's disturbing. Bye. No, I can't stop saying it.
If you want Eddie to be your bamboo baby, you can go check him out at Eddie Printer Users Group. If you just want to cut it out and just buy it, go to Primera.com and search for Eddie.
Listen, if you're decorating in the darkness of your cookie room, I just want you to pause real quick and just say bye.
If you're like, I need an Australian accent quick, you can just say bamboo baby. And the trip, bamboo.
Okay, I have no idea.
Okay, take us to
Last but not least is the meringue powder of 20.
Hermes. If Hermes was a meringue powder.
This is what it would be. It's called Royal Batch. It's made by a company called Bakety Bake. She was a cookier, and she said, you know what? I can do this better. With my vibe.
You can save
10% using code TWINS, plural, at checkout.
Just so you guys know, it's twins, plural, at checkout.
It's silky smooth. It already has 3 ingredients in it. So technically, if you think about it, you're saving white food coloring. That thing is bright white. Next, vanilla extract. What vanilla extract's $1 bazillion? Not when it's in your royal batch. Last but not least is your bamboo. That's corn syrup.
That's really what I'm saying again. You say it one last time.
Your bamboo. Okay. Do you have a twin
I had ordered this cat tower 2-story mansion made of cardboard for Phoebsters.
It does look like a mansion.
And I swear, and you guys are going to just think I threw it away. I know everybody does. The roof didn't come with it. So now it looked like Phoebe didn't pay the deductible.
Yeah, it looked a little
crazy. And then Chewy kept hounding, did you like it? And I was like, hey, I really don't want a replacement. I just want to let you know there was no roof. Immediately, before they even replied, it was a shipping confirmation.
So I have the
roofless.
roofless mansion at my house for my cats.
Phoebster is taken. Of course, now it doesn't get into the top. Of course, now that I have a roof.
She doesn't get into the top?
I have to put her there.
Oh, I see you.
I know you want it. I know you want it.
I'm waiting.
It's coming your way. It's coming
I'll wait.
your way.
I will wait.
I will wait for you like you want me to.
My Twinterest, if you see our Instagram today, I used this silver pen from Sugar and that Heather Campbell Brookshire, Disney Adult, gave us at Cookie Con of Last.
Did you like it? Because I did watch the review. You said you didn't like it and handwriting.
I didn't like it for
Can I just
handwriting.
compliment you busting out that hello with no projector?
Listen, when I was into my calligraphy phase of life, really, truly learned a lot.
I gotta say, you were just like, hello. Hello, fancy.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was like, this is a little bit of skill right here.
Great for details. Bad for lettering. But since
Would
we're
anybody
really
write?
I don't know.
I don't think I'd see it.
I thought maybe for like Halloween you would do something black and do silver.
I'm in vibe for Halloween, like cookie. I like the Halloween posts.
You like Halloween cookies?
I like when people ask questions. I like the vibes when people are like, "What are you doing for Halloween?"
I know it's like the feeling, like
like
we're
ooh,
getting
excitement.
into the holidays.
It's getting cooler outside.
It's getting cooler outside. People are decorating. I used to be. I
you
used to be one
doing
of those.
that? Or you just not?
No, I've retired. I gave away my entire collection.
You had the big Spidey Whitey.
I had a spider house.
Yeah.
And then one day I took every ounce of my front door and covered it with caution tape. You couldn't even see the front door anymore. But I've retired. I realized I was doing that for myself, not my kid.
You're allowed to do stuff for yourself, champ. Yeah. What's your Twinterest?
I just said it was.
Oh, yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Goodbye, guys.